But Harry wasn't listening. He was thinking about the Mer People's song again. We've taken what you'll sorely miss. That sounded as though they were going to steal something of his. Something he had to get back. What were they going to take? And then, of course, she went to the Ministry of Magic to stop me stalking her. So I had to come back here and live in my toilet. Good, said Harry vaguely. Well, I'm a lot further on than I was. Shut your eyes again, will you? I'm getting out. He retrieved the egg from the bottom of the bath, climbed out, dried himself, and pulled on his pajamas and dressing gown again. Will you come and visit me in my bathroom again sometime? Moaning Myrtle asked mournfully as Harry picked up the invisibility cloak. I'll try, Harry said, though privately thinking the only way he'd be visiting Myrtle's bathroom again was if every other toilet in the castle got blocked. See you, Myrtle. Thanks for your help. Bye-bye, she said gloomily, and as Harry put on the invisibility cloak, he saw her zoom back up the tap. Out in the dark corridor, Harry examined the Marauder's map to check that the coast was clear. Yes, the dots belonging to Filch and his cat, Mrs. Norris, were safely in their office. Nothing else seemed to be moving apart from Peeves, though he was bouncing around the trophy room on the floor above. Harry had taken his first step back toward Gryffindor Tower when something else on the map caught his eye. Something distinctly odd. Peeves was not the only thing that was moving. A single dot was flitting around a room in the bottom left-hand corner, Snape's office. But the dot wasn't labeled Severus Snape. It was Bartimaeus Crouch. I thought Barty Crouch was ill and not coming to work, and that's why Percy was doing his job for him. What's going on around here? Harry stared at the dot. Mr. Crouch was supposed... Mr. Crouch was supposed to be ill. Was supposed to be too ill to go to work, or to come to the Yule Ball. So what was he doing, sneaking into Hogwarts at 1 o'clock in the morning? Harry watched closely as the dot moved around and around the room, pausing here and there. Huh. Harry hesitated, thinking. And then his curiosity got the better of him. He turned and set off in the opposite direction toward the nearest staircase. He was going to see what Mr. Crouch was up to. Harry walked down the stairs as quietly as possible, though the faces in some of the portraits still turned curiously at the squeak of a floorboard, the rustle of his pajamas. He crept along the corridor below, pushed aside a tapestry about halfway along, and proceeded down a narrower staircase, a shortcut that would take him down 2 floors. He kept glancing down at the map, wondering. It just didn't seem in character somehow for correct, law-abiding Mr. Crouch to be sneaking around somebody else's office this late at night. And then, halfway down the staircase, not thinking about what he was doing, not concentrating on anything but the peculiar behavior of Mr. Crouch, Harry's leg suddenly sank right through the trick step. Neville always forgot to jump. He gave an ungainly wobble, and the egg, still damp from the bath, slipped from under his arm. He lurched forward to try and catch it, but too late. The egg fell down the long staircase with a bang as loud as a bass drum on every step. The invisibility cloak slipped. Harry snatched at it, and the marauder's map fluttered out of his hand and slid down 6 stairs, where, sunk in the step to above his knee, he couldn't reach it. The golden egg fell through the tapestry at the bottom of the staircase, burst open, and began wailing loudly in the corridor below. Oh, bah! Harry pulled out his wand and struggled to touch the marauder's map to wipe it blank, but it was too far away to reach. Pulling the cloak back over himself, Harry straightened up, listened hard with his eyes screwed up with fear, listening hard, and almost immediately, "Peeves!" It was the unmistakable, haunting cry of Filch, the caretaker. Harry could hear his rapid, shuffling footsteps coming nearer and nearer, his wheezy voice raised in fury. "What's this racket? Wake up the whole castle, will you? I'll have you, Peeves, I'll have you, you'll... What is this?" Filch's footsteps halted. There was a clink of metal on metal, and the wailing stopped. Filch had picked up the egg and closed it. Harry stood very still, one leg still jammed tightly in the magical step, listening. Any moment now, Filch was going to pull aside the tapestry, expecting to see Peeves, and there would be no Peeves. But if he came up the stairs, he would spot the marauder's map, and invisibility cloak or not, the map would show Harry Potter standing exactly where he was. "Egg?" Filch said quietly at the foot of the stairs. "My sweet," Mrs. Norris was obviously with him, "this is a Tri-Wizard clue. This belongs to a school champion." Harry felt sick. His heart was hammering very fast. "Peeves!" Filch roared. "You've been stealing!" He ripped back the tapestry below, and Harry saw his horrible, pouchy face and bulging pale eyes staring up the dark and, to Filch, deserted stairway. Excuse me. "Hiding, are you?" he said. "I'm coming to get you, Peeves. You've gone and stolen a Tri-Wizard clue, Peeves. Dumbledore have you out of here for this, you filthy, pilfering poltergeist!" Filch started to climb the stairs, his scrawny, dust-colored cat at his heels. Mrs. Norris's lamp-like eyes, so very like her master's, was fixed directly upon Harry. He had had occasion before now to wonder whether the invisibility cloak worked on cats. Sick with apprehension, he watched Filch drawing nearer and nearer in his old flannel dressing gown. He tried desperately to pull his trapped leg free, but it merely sank in a few inches deeper. Any second now, Filch was going to spot the map and walk right onto him. Let's see here. "Filch, what is going on?" Filch stopped a few steps below Harry and turned. At the foot of the stairs stood the only person who could make Harry's situation worse: Snape. He was wearing a long gray nightshirt and he looked livid. "It's Peeves, Professor," Filch whispered. "He threw this egg down the stairs." Snape climbed up the stairs quickly and stopped beside Filch. Harry gritted his teeth, convinced his loudly thumping heart would give him away any second. "Peeves?" said Snape softly, staring at the egg in Filch's hands. "But Peeves couldn't get into my office." "This egg was in your office, Professor?" "Of course not," Snape snapped. "I heard banging and wailing." "Yes, Professor, that was the egg." "I was coming to investigate." "Peeves threw it, Professor." "And when I passed my office, I saw that the torches were lit and a cupboard door was ajar. Somebody has been searching it." "But Peeves couldn't—" "I know he couldn't, Filch," Snape snapped again. "I seal my office with a spell none but a wizard could break." Snape looked up the stairs, straight through Harry, and then down into the corridor below. "I want you to come and help me search for the intruder, Filch." Yes, Professor, but—" Filch looked yearningly up the stairs, right through Harry, who could see that he was very reluctant to forego the chance of cornering Peeves. "Go," Harry pleaded with him silently. "Go with Snape. Go." Mrs. Norris was peering around Filch's legs, and Harry had the distinct impression that she could smell him. Why had he filled that bath with so much perfume foam? I am not going to tell you what happens. It's 12 minutes. Is Filch going to leave? Is Mrs. Norris going to snatch that invisibility cloak off of Harry? Is he going to get caught? Is he going to get an egg back? I don't know. I haven't read ahead, and you don't know either because I'm not reading it right now.